Have you ever opened up to someone only to regret it moments later? The sting of sharing too much can linger long after the words are spoken. As we grow older, we gain wisdom, but with it comes the realization that some things are better left unsaid. Have you ever found yourself wishing you could take certain words back? In this video, I'll share 5 essential things you should never share with your family after 65. These aren't about keeping secrets, they're about protecting your peace, dignity, and relationships. Stick with me to the end, as understanding these could save you from unnecessary regrets and help you strengthen your connections with loved ones. Have you ever shared something personal only to later wish you had kept it to yourself? As we get older, we gain wisdom, but we also learn that some things are better left unsaid. In this video, I will reveal 5 important things you should never share with your family after 65. These secrets aren't about deception. They are about protecting your peace, dignity, and relationships. Stay with me until the end, because understanding these could save you from unnecessary regrets and even strengthen the bonds with your loved ones. Before we begin, I would greatly appreciate it if you could like this video. It will help me continue sharing important life lessons on aging. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1, and if you don't, comment number 0 so I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's get started. As the years go by, we gain wisdom, valuable lessons shaped by our experiences, triumphs, and failures. But alongside this wisdom, we also accumulate something much less pleasant: regrets. The older we get, the more we reflect on the choices we made, the roads we didn't take, and the words left unsaid. One of the most common regrets many people express later in life is that they shared too much, gave away personal thoughts, vulnerabilities, and burdens that should have remained private. Contrary to what many believe, there is immense power in knowing what to share and what to keep to yourself. Not every thought, every word, every worry, or every painful memory needs to be handed over to those around you, even if they are family. It's not about deception or secrecy. It's about preserving your dignity, maintaining your strength, and ensuring your truths do not become a burden to others. There are certain things, 5 to be exact, that a wise person should learn to hold within. Failing to do so can lead to unintended consequences. You may begin to notice that people treat you differently, not with cruelty, but with a subtle shift in perception. You may no longer be seen as strong, resilient, or someone others turn to for guidance. Instead, you may be viewed as fragile, someone who needs care, rather than someone who commands respect. And perhaps worst of all, you may find that those around you begin to listen to you differently, not with admiration, but with a quiet sense of pity. One of the most profound yet often overlooked things that should be guarded closely is personal regret. Regret is one of the heaviest burdens a person can carry, and as we grow older, it's natural for these regrets to become a part of our lives. As we discussed earlier, some regrets are too heavy to share, especially with those closest to us. While we might feel compelled to express our misgivings, hoping for relief or closure, it's important to understand that such revelations can carry unintended consequences. Expressing our regrets may offer brief comfort, but it can also leave long-lasting ripples that affect relationships in ways we may never expect. When a parent or elder opens up about their deepest regrets, especially to their children, it can change how the children view themselves and their own lives. Imagine a father confessing that he wishes he had chosen a different career. This might lead his children to question their own career choices, wondering if they too might end up regretting their paths. Or consider a mother who admits to regretting a past relationship or decision that changed her life. Her confession might plant seeds of doubt in her children, making them wonder if they too are simply the result of mistakes rather than being the result of love and thoughtful choices. The weight of such revelations is not something that is easily carried. Knowing that someone we admire has lived with such deep remorse can be unsettling. It can alter the family dynamic, shifting admiration into sorrow, gratitude into guilt. Children may feel helpless, burdened by the knowledge that someone they love has carried such profound disappointment. They may internalize these regrets, feeling as though their existence is tied to an unfortunate decision rather than to a life that was lived with meaning and love. Moreover, constantly dwelling on the past steals the joy of the present. When someone repeatedly speaks about what could have been, what should have been done, and what might have been different, it creates an atmosphere filled with sadness and longing. This focus on what is lost overshadows the joy of what is still unfolding, leaving family members with the feeling that their presence is not enough to bring happiness. Instead of celebrating the time spent together, the regretful reflections make the moment feel incomplete. Rather than bringing family members closer, sharing too much of one's regrets can unintentionally create distance. Conversations become heavy, and interactions are tinged with sorrow instead of warmth. Loved ones might feel that they are shouldering a burden they were never meant to carry. The person who shares their regrets may find themselves isolated, trapped in a cycle of reliving the past instead of embracing the future with the people they love. It's not about silencing your truth or pretending that regrets don't exist. It's about recognizing that some emotions and reflections are best processed privately or with those who can offer guidance without unintentionally changing the dynamic of your relationships. There is strength in discretion, wisdom in restraint, and peace in knowing that not everything needs to be said aloud. Sometimes, the most important things in life are the ones we preserve within, carefully guarded for our own healing and for the sake of our relationships. There is also a danger in allowing reflection to turn into an obsession, where the past consumes the present. As we discussed earlier, reflecting on life choices, whether good or bad, is a natural part of the human experience. It's common to feel a mix of emotions when we look back on our decisions, but it's important to understand when expressing regret becomes a valuable tool for personal growth. It can lead to greater self-awareness, learning from past experiences, and even the opportunity to share wisdom with others. However, when regret dominates our conversations, it can have unintended consequences on relationships. Constantly focusing on past disappointments can take an emotional toll on those around us. Loved ones may start to withdraw, not because they don't care, but because they feel helpless in the face of something that cannot be changed. No matter how much they wish to comfort or support, they can't rewrite history. The constant reminder of past mistakes or missed opportunities can leave them emotionally drained over time. What once were meaningful interactions can gradually turn into emotionally taxing experiences. Instead of sharing laughter, connection, and mutual understanding, conversations may become overshadowed by sorrow, frustration, or even resentment. It's important to recognize the difference between healthy reflection and dwelling on regret. True wisdom lies in knowing when to voice our concerns and when certain thoughts should remain private. It's not about suppressing emotions or avoiding necessary discussions. It's about understanding how to communicate in a way that fosters mutual understanding rather than burdening others with our unresolved feelings. Instead of dwelling on what cannot be changed, try to channel those reflections into valuable lessons that can help others avoid similar mistakes. This can be a much more constructive and uplifting way to share the wisdom life has granted us. If you're still watching this video and finding these lessons helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're still with me. Thank you for your valuable time. On a similar note, financial matters are deeply personal, but they undeniably affect relationships. While honesty is a virtue, there's a delicate balance between being open and oversharing, especially when it comes to discussions about money. The way financial information is shared within a family can have long-lasting effects, often in ways we may not predict. Whether facing financial hardship or experiencing prosperity, both extremes can introduce complexities into family dynamics that are not immediately apparent. What may begin as an innocent conversation about financial struggles, perhaps an expression of frustration over rising expenses, retirement concerns, or unexpected bills, can gradually create a sense of worry among loved ones. Children, regardless of their age, may start to feel an increasing responsibility for their parents' well-being. Sometimes this sense of responsibility can even affect their own financial stability. As we saw earlier, financial discussions can sometimes take a toll on family dynamics, even when intentions are good. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the need to help loved ones, especially when they are facing financial struggles. However, this well-intentioned support can create stress, leading to a complex dynamic where love and care are intertwined with financial obligations. A child may not resent their parents for needing help, but they might find themselves caught between their responsibilities and the pressure to assist. What initially started as a simple conversation about financial concerns can slowly shift the nature of the relationship. Over time, it can change from one based on mutual respect and emotional support to one weighed down by duty and financial strain. On the flip side, discussing financial success openly can also have its drawbacks. While there's nothing wrong with taking pride in one's hard-earned prosperity, sharing too many details about wealth can create unrealistic expectations among family members. Some might begin to feel entitled, assuming that because a parent or relative is financially well off, they should automatically be provided for. This can lead to dependency, where certain family members rely on the expectation of financial help rather than building their own independence. Moreover, disparities in wealth within a family can create tensions, even when these issues aren't openly discussed. Siblings, for instance, who perceive an imbalance in financial circumstances may start comparing themselves to one another. This can lead to jealousy, rivalry, or resentment. Conversations about inheritances, loans, or financial gifts can make matters even worse, as differing expectations or perceived favoritism can spark conflicts, straining family bonds. Ultimately, financial matters are an unavoidable part of life, but they should be approached with care and consideration. While transparency is important, it should always be balanced with discretion. The way financial struggles or successes are communicated can profoundly shape family dynamics, influencing relationships for years to come. Choosing the right words, focusing on financial lessons rather than burdens or entitlements, and fostering a spirit of encouragement rather than expectation can help preserve both emotional and financial harmony within the family. Discretion is a powerful tool. Choosing what to share and what to withhold can make all the difference. Life is built on relationships, and the way we communicate plays a pivotal role in shaping those connections. What we decide to share or keep to ourselves has lasting effects on how others perceive us, how they treat us, and how our relationships evolve. While openness and honesty are often seen as the foundation of strong relationships, there's wisdom in knowing when and what to withhold. Not every detail of our lives needs to be shared. In fact, some topics, when discussed too openly, can change the nature of our interactions in ways that may not always serve our best interests. As we've seen, financial discussions play a significant role in shaping relationships, often in ways we don't realize. The moment financial details become a frequent topic of conversation, the dynamics within relationships can shift, sometimes subtly, sometimes drastically. Instead of being valued for your character, wisdom, kindness, or experiences, you might find yourself viewed primarily through a financial lens. If you are financially well off and openly share the details of your wealth, some family members may begin to see you more as a source of financial support than as a person they love and respect. This shift is often unintentional, but once money enters the conversation, expectations can form. You might find that relatives become more comfortable asking for financial help, even if they would have never considered doing so before. Over time, what was once seen as a generous gesture may start to be taken for granted rather than truly appreciated. On the flip side, if you share details about financial struggles or hardships, the dynamic can shift in an entirely different way. Family members who once saw you as independent and self-sufficient might start to view you as a burden, even if they care for you deeply. They may approach conversations with hesitation, worried about whether you are struggling more than you are letting on. Some may even pull away, unsure of how to help, or unwilling to take on the added financial responsibility. Both of these scenarios being seen as a financial resource or as a financial burden can erode the genuine connections that are crucial for maintaining healthy relationships. The depth of love and respect we share with our families should not be influenced by money. However, when financial details are too freely shared, it becomes difficult to prevent such shifts from occurring. There is great wisdom in managing financial discussions with care. While it's important to be financially transparent with a trusted spouse or partner, sharing extensive details with extended family members is often unnecessary and, in some cases, unwise. Instead of revealing the specifics of your financial situation, it is often more beneficial to provide guidance, share financial wisdom, and help others develop their financial literacy by leading by example. This way, you maintain control over your financial narrative while still offering valuable insights to those around you. Family relationships are intricate, shaped by years of shared experiences, emotions, and deeply ingrained dynamics. Within these relationships, it's tempting to express personal opinions about certain matters, but it's essential to recognize when and how to share those thoughts in a way that maintains respect and understanding. As we've already explored, the way we communicate within families can deeply impact relationships, especially during moments of frustration or emotional intensity. When we feel strongly about someone's behavior or choices, it can feel natural to share those thoughts. It's almost like a release, an opportunity to confide in someone we trust. However, what may seem like a harmless expression of opinion can have long-lasting consequences that stretch far beyond the immediate conversation. Once words are spoken, they can never be fully taken back. They hold the power to shape relationships in ways that may not be immediately visible but can unfold over time, creating rifts that are difficult to mend. One of the greatest risks of openly voicing strong opinions about a family member is the division it can create. A single statement of disappointment about a son-in-law, a harsh critique of a sibling, or a moment of frustration directed at an adult child can linger in the minds of those who hear it, even if these opinions are shared in confidence. Such words have a way of spreading, sometimes unintentionally, sometimes in ways we never anticipated. Imagine a scenario where a grandparent confesses their disappointment in a granddaughter's choice of career. That sentiment, once shared with another family member, doesn't just disappear. It can be passed along, subtly or directly, until it reaches the granddaughter herself. Even if the words were spoken out of concern, rather than criticism, they can still leave a lasting wound. She may begin to feel that she has to prove herself, or worse, that she has already been written off in the eyes of her family. This is why discretion is such a valuable tool in maintaining strong family bonds. Choosing to withhold certain opinions doesn't mean being dishonest. Rather, it means being mindful of the weight our words carry. Healthy relationships require careful navigation, and not every thought or frustration needs to be voiced. There is great power in restraint and recognizing that while honesty is important, it must be balanced with consideration for how our words will be received and how they will ultimately shape the relationships we hold dear. If you're still watching and finding these lessons helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're still with me. Thank you for your valuable time. As we age, conversations around health naturally become more frequent. Our bodies change, new challenges arise, and staying on top of medical concerns becomes a higher priority. However, when health becomes the central theme of every conversation, it can begin to shift how family members perceive and interact with us. When younger family members hear frequent talk about ailments, doctor visits, or physical limitations, they may, without realizing it, start to see their aging relatives as fragile or dependent. Where once they viewed their elders as strong, wise, and capable, they may start to approach them with a sense of concern or pity rather than admiration. As we've discussed earlier, health updates are important to share when necessary, but they should never become the focal point of every conversation. When health becomes the defining aspect of our interactions, it can unintentionally change the dynamics of relationships. As loved ones begin to see us through the lens of concern, caution, or even pity, it's essential to ensure that our interactions remain balanced. This shift, though often driven by love, can create unintended consequences. It's vital to continue sharing health updates when needed, but it's equally important that conversations stay well-rounded. They should still include laughter, stories, hobbies, interests, and discussions about the meaningful experiences we've lived through. By maintaining a diverse dialogue, we reinforce the idea that we are more than just our physical state. We are individuals with rich histories, valuable insights, and ongoing contributions to make. Fear and anxiety naturally come with life, especially as we grow older and face the uncertainties of the future. Concerns about aging, health, loneliness, and the state of the world are all normal, and expressing them is part of the emotional process. However, when conversations become dominated by fear and anxiety, they can place an emotional burden on those around us. Loved ones may want to reassure us, but they may also feel helpless if they don't have solutions. Over time, if interactions consistently focus on worries and negative outcomes, family members may begin to approach conversations with a sense of obligation rather than joy. Instead of looking forward to visits or phone calls, they may start to brace themselves for yet another distressing discussion. Strength doesn't come from ignoring fear, but from refusing to let it overshadow the present. By choosing to focus on moments of joy, gratitude, and shared experiences, relationships can remain rooted in warmth and connection rather than anxiety and worry. In this way, we can maintain healthy and uplifting conversations even in the face of life's challenges. In closing, discretion is not about withholding love or avoiding meaningful conversations. It's about knowing when and how to share in ways that strengthen relationships rather than complicating them. Whether it's financial matters, personal opinions, health concerns, or fears about the future, careful consideration of what we share ensures that our relationships remain filled with trust, respect, and genuine connection. The strongest relationships are not built solely on honesty, but also on wisdom, kindness, and the ability to navigate life's complexities with grace. We've covered 5 important things that are best kept to yourself after 65, not to deceive, but to protect your peace, dignity, and relationships. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What have you learned from this video? Share one thing you'll start practicing in your own life in the comments below. Let's learn from each other and grow together. If you like this video, please leave your comment and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content just for you.